a mixed bag of a week. Friends, I don't know, friends. I don't know. I just don't know. Those who know me know I'm a kind person. I don't swear at anybody. I don't argue with anybody. I'm not rude to anybody. I take a genuine interest in people. A relative asked at the beginning of the year or at the end of last year how the children are and how school went. So I launched into this whole long answer of how each child is progressing with their school or not progressing. I launched into a whole my poor boy failed computer science, so it was last year, and we want to see how he not failed. 46 is a fail for an E. You got an E for computer science, and we're waiting to see what the next result will be like. They've been provisionally accepted at University of Pretoria, and I'm so glad that I'm done with my daughter. I've finished teaching her, no more high school. There was not a single response, not a single acknowledgement to anything I had said. And it was the second time that I told myself, I need to stop being honest, like genuinely honest with people, because they don't actually care. If you really care about the answer to your question, you will acknowledge the answer at the very least. You don't have to go into oh, I wish him the best. That would have been nice. My word, we're family, blood family. But there was not a single, nothing. There was no comment. I just felt like I was just slapped in the face because I genuinely care about them. When I ask, I really do mean I'm asking. I don't know why people ask if they don't actually mean it. Don't ask me how the children are, how school is if you don't mean it. I had a friend yesterday, 2 days ago, who asked and she genuinely meant it. She was even saying she feels bad that she didn't homeschool her children because they're so rebellious, and she pinches herself and blames herself because she wasn't there as a mother. She was following along with everything I said, and she's not blood. It's just, okay, here's the thing. For me, it is proof positive that everything I heard growing up is a lie. And the messages are still out there today for other impressionable children to hear and believe. Family will always have your back, meaning blood family. Your mother loves you very much. She's the only one who will have your back. We've discussed that ad nauseum. It's a lie. But I grew up thinking, okay, this is love, and that is the problem. Believe me, you can ask any foster mother who has taken in children from an abusive home. The children are bonded to their parents like anything, even if they've been subjected to the worst of traumas, especially if both parents or the one single parent was the one or were the ones both abusive, because they don't know any better. What I've seen has been a protective impact or influence on people is when one parent has been loving. In fact, the two younger ladies I know who see through nonsense, see through narcissists, are people whose dads were cruel or abusive or adulterous, and the mothers were motherly in every real, true sense, stereotypical sense of the word mother. They can see that you're not being treated well. This is not the response of a loving person. They don't love you. They can see that for me. But because I grew up thinking abuse is love or an abusive person is loving, it took me 40 plus years to realize no, there's another way. There is a proper way of love. As I said to a friend of mine, I just assumed, oh well, all these other girls are being loved nicely because they're white. I was the only black girl, so it must be a black thing that we get things thrown at our chests so that we lose our breath and we can't breathe. When we get beaten and you ask, but mommy, what did I do? And you're 6 years old. You know what you did. You're 6 years old. You don't know what you did. Yeah. So I truly, truly thought it is a black thing. And the stereotypical videos don't help, where you see them, oh, wacky with the belt, African mother versus white mother. So even today, social media says black mothers are cruel, black mothers are harsh, black parents, mother and father, beat you hard with weapons, and that is love. So that's what I grew up seeing. And it's just everywhere in my I don't have a single biological relative who is alive and loves me anymore. The one person who was a mother to me and my other cousin as well had passed away. And she was a mother to that cousin too, more than the living mother that the person has is and has been since beginning of time. And that is sad. Why is it that most of us are impaired when it comes to true love? And I used to tell people that I was spoiled by attending school with white children from the beginning because I saw love, real, kind, thoughtful love, extended to my friends, and I felt a bit of it when I was visiting them. I felt peace. I felt cared about. My interests were taken into account. I think I did share about the birthday party where I couldn't swim. Everyone else could swim. It was at a friend's house and they had a swimming pool. There's nobody in the township that I know of who's got a swimming pool. And yeah, so the mother said, I know you love to read. Here, look at my bookshelf. It seems so little, such a small, trivial thing. But for me, it meant a lot because it meant she knew me. My dad used to tell me, stop reading, you're going to damage your eyes. That's what he used to tell me. So, yeah. Anyway, the point, I actually don't remember what I was saying. My point was, I've been hurt twice now when I've opened up. I think that's where I was going. And it's a warning to you to be careful who you open up to because the silence will hurt you more than it would have hurt had they never asked in the first place. And if you're the kind of person who asks something and then you don't respond, stop it. It really hurts. People have taken their time to thoughtfully reply with as much honesty and openness as possible. So, yes, be careful who you open up to. If they ask and you have a good track record with them, answer them. If they show care for other people, then they're more genuine and they will show care for you. The people I've spoken about, but they never actually cared about other people. They've never said, I'm really worried about my cousin's child. They've never actually cared about anybody. So I shouldn't have been surprised that they didn't care about me and my people. Anyway, so it's been a mixed bag where, in a way, I felt alone. It's this opposite thing. I went to get laundry outside, dry laundry, so it's not as heavy as wet. I'm mentioning that because I went to go get laundry yesterday evening, and my son, my 9-year-old son, who is neurodivergent, comes running out and he says, Mom, you shouldn't be doing that alone. I've never had any adult say that to me, ever. It's never been said. Okay, I've only done laundry in front of 2 adults, so I guess that's not surprising. And I know one would say it for sure if she was here. But that's when it struck me that I wasn't wrong to feel aggrieved and sad and not seen, not heard. So it's been a weird emotional week for me. Why is it that a little child can say, Mom, you shouldn't have to do that on your own, knowing, because he knows Mom is not well. He doesn't understand the ins and outs of ankylosing spondylitis at all. He doesn't even know that 4 p.m. onwards, I'm really suffering from pain and I can't do much anymore. It's like I've been holding on and faking and pushing and pulling myself around that I want to just collapse. I can't do it anymore. But he came and he said, you shouldn't do this alone. And he then carried the basket for me into the house. I thought there was a day I carried a huge, heavy, wet basket of laundry past two adults. They saw me walking through the house with this basket of laundry. They should know more about what AS is because I've made it very clear. And they just kept quiet as they saw me walking out carrying this heavy load. And I just thought, as I walked past, I thought, where's the love? Why is it that I feel alone and yet there are adults right here with me? It's in huge contrast as well with a friend of mine who does have physical issues that are less, they're not as bad as mine, but her husband is so caring, and he's a man, so caring. No, please don't do that. Don't overdo yourself. Rest. Don't do this. Don't do that. Take care of yourself. Don't touch that. But these adults just stood there, sat there, chatting along, not seeing me. And it hurt that day, really did. Because again, like this week, or like the time with the relative who didn't actually care what I had to say, I could have just said to them, they're fine. And that's all, that's, yeah. It's pointless my telling these people how I feel. It's pointless my telling these people what my rheumatologist says. It's pointless my telling them that I'm not meant to lift heavy things because it makes no difference. I can scream as loud as I want, they will not hear. There's a saying in Xhosa that says, Usana lungakhaliyo lufele embelekweni. So if you don't cry, you will just die if you're a baby, you will die in the, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, how to describe it, but if a little baby that doesn't cry will smother and die in the imbeleko. I don't have a direct translation for an English word, but in the skin. But at least if the baby cries, then the mother knows, oh, the baby is in trouble. Let me help the baby. So the saying means speak up so that you can get help. But I have spoken up and I didn't get help. So I carried that heavy basket out into the sun. I carried it, I didn't carry it back. I hung out in the sun, body aching, knowing that because I've done this, it will ache even more because I'm doing too much. And they didn't care. But they prayed. And I thought, what is prayer without help? What is prayer without love? This is just empty words. The prayer means nothing if you don't show your love. Wow, I'm rambling totally. But yes, this week reminded me that if a little child can care, surely adults definitely should have. And I felt sad. That's really what I felt. I felt sad that I can be so honest and desperate and still not be seen, not be heard, not be cared about when I'm right there in front of the people. But I'm grateful that my son, they say autistics have no heart. My son has shown that to be a bald-faced lie. He has more heart than any adult man who's double his age or triple his age. He has more heart than all the males I know put together, and he's a little boy. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that he is there and he sees. It's cute, it's sweet. I don't know if I taught him to be thoughtful. I mean, I do know I teach them to be thoughtful, but it could just be in his heart. So I'm grateful for his heart. That was my very long-winded way to say, though it reminded me of that time when I was hurt by the adults, I'm grateful that there is a little one who sees the big problems and tries to solve them. So that was the up of the week, which also came with a down because it was bittersweet. And school, the same little boy, he's not understanding the concept of cutting. So he's cutting inside the lines instead of on the lines. So now when he had to make a puzzle, it didn't work. It didn't work out because he cut inside the lines. Even though I've shown him how to cut multiple times, it just doesn't make sense to him. So we've got those little things. We've got the little bugs like rhyming. He still doesn't understand it. No matter how I try and illustrate it, he and his 5-year-old talking sister are struggling with the concept of rhyming a lot. And she's currently doing it in her schoolwork, but it's something that is just over her head completely. I I've now realized that when she does get it right, it's just a guess. Because she'll say, yes, log dog rhymes. Yes, jump rack rhymes. So you see, she actually doesn't know. She just happens to. Without me explaining it to you, go.
Dog, frog, sack, jump, cat, mouse.
Okay, wait. See here, I've put these two together. And then these goes together. And these go together. And these go together. Now what can you tell me about the words?
Dog, log, frog.
Mm-hmm.
Log.
What about them?
They rhyme.
Okay, next.
Sack, rat.
Huh? Where are you going? Sack, rat.
Sack,
Try
jump,
again.
sack,
Again.
sock,
Mm-hmm. And this one?
jump.
Sock, jump.
No,
No, they don't.
rhyme.
Okay,
Cat.
next. Mm-hmm. And the one underneath cat is?
Mat.
Do cat and mat rhyme?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the other word that rhymes?
Hit,
No, cat, mat.
rat, rot. Rat.
Pardon?
It.
What is this letter here?
A.
Okay, what sound does A make?
React.
Okay, next.
Hit,
Start from the top one.
hit,
Does this say hit?
sit,
Mm-hmm.
hit.
Sit, hit. Do they rhyme?
No.
They don't rhyme. And what does this say?
First,
It says
hit.
sit, hit, fit. They don't rhyme, hey? Is that what you said?
No.
Yes, it is what you said.
No.
Does sit rhyme with hit?
No.
No. Okay.
Man, ma, ma, big.
Okay, Bukosi, please come here. I just want to do something. You don't have to show your face. I just want you to read. Come on to behind Mikaya. I just want to check. What is that word there? Man. Man.
Okay, man,
You were
big.
saying maha.
Man,
Okay. Do you know why it's not an H? Because it's.
not shaped like H.
Okay, what's the difference? How would you make an H? What's different with an H and an N?
They're not the same.
How?
Because in N there's like,
Okay, here, you can use the pen. Can you pull it open? You can write it. Okay, you can write it here, the little corner with that funny place that's stuck. N is like that.
yes. And H is like,
Can you come closer this side, please?
guess I don't write H.
You tell me. Okay, so did I write my N like that, like you did?
No.
What is your N?
This.
What kind of case is your N?
What does that mean? That's what that mean.
What case is your N?
It's much different, sir.
Upper or lower?
Upper, lower.
Oh, okay, it's lower. Have you done uppercase and lowercase before?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Yes. Did have I?
What do you think?
I think so.
Yes, you have. Okay, thank you for answering my questions. I
Yeah.
will tell you something. Sock, jump, don't rhyme. Because it's ok, ump. Do they sound like they're the same? Do they
No.
sound... What's the word you used? You used the word not the same, identical. Now, sit and hit. How is the ending? What is the ending? What are the two last sounds?
INT.
Is that a sound? What's the sound?
It.
And?
It. So they rhyme.
Exactly. And?
They rhyme. It's
Say
rhyme.
it.
Fit.
Okay, so they do rhyme. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. So I know you and Nelo have a bit of a way to go with learning, hey? We're learning rhyming. Okay, now look
Okay.
at this. The H compared to the I. Is it the same height? Is it taller, shorter?
I don't know.
You
Well,
don't
the
know?
H is taller. Okay.
Okay, the H is taller. Now look at this N.
Okay, it's shorter.
Exactly. So that's how you know it's an.
H.
What is an H?
In.
In. Okay. We'll keep practicing, my boy. Thank you for showing us. And I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel about school.
Oh no.
Thank you. So that was also quite sad. Yeah, it was quite sad because it's, I don't know. It just reminded me of the troubles, of the challenges they have. And it made me wonder about her future and about her future education. I really don't know where I'm going with my children. With high school, with the neurotypicals, with the children who didn't have severe learning disorders, with the children who didn't have intellectual impairment, it was clear. We will do an American curriculum and then we will do Cambridge. Now I have no idea. There is no homeschool curriculum for my children with the current strengths they have. And I don't know of a high school one that is accepted, acknowledged in South Africa. There was a special needs one that I might have mentioned last year, I think, yes. But the woman just went silent on me. She said it begins at age 10. So I asked her for more information because my child is 10. But she went ghost. And when I look at her Facebook page, it now says 13, 14, 15 is when it begins. So what now between those ages? What do we do then? So it's been, again, that was the negative of this week, the struggles, the inability to count in tens for my 10-year-old. Yeah, it's actually been a rough week. And I don't know if I'm ending with this, but I slept for a whole 1 hour last night. I have always been a light sleeper. Actually, it's actually been quite a badish week. But it could be worse. So I guess in that sense, it was a bit of this and that. But yes, I've always been a light sleeper, and that hasn't changed. Now, when you add pain, you're even you're in even a lighter. Whoa! What am I meant to say? My tongue has gone. You are then not even as deep as you're not in as deep a sleep as you could be because of the pain itself. So my husband was snoring and snoring and snoring, and I wanted to cry and cry and cry because I need my sleep. My girl, I mean 10-year-old, had made me sleep late because she slept late and she was banging around and stomping around so that we all know she's awake. And so I had to go and try and hush her. And then there was the snoring and snoring. I moved to a sofa. I could still hear it. And then I moved to a different room completely by the bathroom. I put as many blankets as I could find in the middle of the night on the floor. Whoa! Yeah, it doesn't really work. I don't know how some autistics say they love the hard floor. Some even fall asleep on the hard floor. It took me ages. I was already in pain, and it was too early to take pain medicine, so that also didn't help. I try as much as possible, or I want to sleep through much of the pain because I can't take medicine in the middle of the night. But I was awake now, very awake, trying to lay blankets down. I tried to sleep in the recliner, my infamous recliner. If you followed my blog, which I doubt you had, or if you've known me for a long time, you know that I've been sleeping in a recliner since 2019 for various reasons. Pregnancy was the first one when I had LPR, laryngopharyngeal reflux, so I had to be upright. And then I had surgery and I had to be upright. And then I had to sleep with the twins and I had to be upright so that I don't smother them because they wouldn't sleep except on us, and all these different reasons. And then I had the elbow surgery. So I've had a few years of sleeping on the recliner, but as the AS progressed, it put too much pressure on my SI joints, the bones in your buttock, because it's at an angle like this. So if you're like this, where your bum is, it's all the weight is on there. And nighttime is when your pain is the worst. So I can't sleep on the recliner. I tried, I tossed and turned. Nope. I slept on the floor. As I said, it took a long time for me not to feel the pain. I would sleep on my back, I would feel pain in my neck. I'd sleep on my side, hip pain. I finally slept for a whole hour from 4 something until 5:40, and then I was up. People, ankylosing spondylitis is killing me. My special needs life is killing me. My 10-year-old, I don't know what kind of, there's a huge and high level of destruction that is still ongoing. In a nutshell, nothing has actually improved with any of my children. And that's the thing, I've actually stopped talking to people who keep telling me, who told me 2, 3 years ago, oh, they'll be fine. Oh, they're growing, they'll be fine. They are not yet fine. They're getting worse. It is harder trivializing it or minimizing or ignoring where someone is at the moment and promising them a future you cannot and should not promise them is useless. And the thing is, they ask. That's what makes it worse. They ask, how are the children? How are things going? And then when I tell them things are really hard, she slashed her sister's blouse. Oh, well, don't worry, she'll outgrow that. When? When? The money, the time, the mental strain. I don't know, folk, it's been interesting. So I'll end on a positive. My girl, my 5-year-old, at least had enough patience to, to finish a whole puzzle. She usually just gives up, but she finished a puzzle. And school, I had to just go on the fly. She didn't want to sit at her book. It's very colorful and stuff, but she didn't want to sit at it, so I had to transcribe some of her schoolwork and put it on the board by the table where they eat. And I asked her some schoolwork and made her do some schoolwork in between her mouthfuls, which are spread far apart from each other because she eats and then she plays and she talks. That hasn't improved either. So yeah, that's how I did much school this week. What I've also been enjoying is that both she and my 9-year-old no longer say they hate school. They no longer whine when they have to do school. They instead even ask to do more. They're happy, and it helps me so much. It really was draining to say let's go into school and they don't want to. I'd hate it when they tell people they hate doing school, even though I know it's an ADHD thing, but I know that there's a stigma against homeschooling. So I felt like people would think, you see, if they were in a typical school, they wouldn't hate being taught. But so it's been good. It's been good that they enjoy going to school, coming to class on the board instead of in the book. And she did well with it. She did well with it. It's just the rhyming only that is taking time. But it's not a train smash. You can pass your AS level English even if you don't know how to rhyme. I just hope that they know it's not just a foretaste of other bigger problems. That's when, yeah. So that's also at the back of my mind. These two who have finished high school now, out of my 6 children, are they going to be the only ones who can finish high school? And how will I support 4 children when we are both old pensioners, 4 dependents, plus ourselves and my medical costs? Those are the things that eat away at me and eat away and eat away. Just now we had to pay 6,150 from my December injections and hospital stuff that medical aid hadn't paid for. How are we going to do that when we're pensioners, people? I don't know. You don't know. We know of too many pensioners that are suffering. We know of too many pensioners, or I know, and some of us know, of pensioners who buy dog food because it's cheaper than human food. But they believe it's got all the nutrients you need. There is no guarantee that anything on this earth will be better. And that's what I told someone who tried to pretend that it will be. She said something like, believing in God tells you that you have to be positive. No, it just tells you that you have to believe in Him and not be so bowed down by your grief that you stop looking at Him. But I will continue looking at Him and begging Him for a miracle. It doesn't mean we will enjoy life just because we're Christians. It means He walks with us. And as I said to her, heaven will be where everything is better. That I know for sure. That we all know for sure. And that is what I will close with. If I find any other pictures, I will add them. But otherwise, that's our week. That's my week. It's, yeah, that's how it has been. It has been a bit of a downer, but some positives as well, some better moments. Yeah. Auditory processing disorder sees my twins and my son, 9-year-old, not able to hear words properly, just English words, and not able to hear Nguni sounds like nga and hlala, like that HL. So they can't reproduce Nguni words like from isiZulu and isiXhosa. So I can't use that as the second language for my daughter. So if she does Cambridge, I would want her to have a second language, as that will be easier than one of those other subjects, given her autism. So I'm teaching them Afrikaans. This is just a glimpse of what I did for them this week. And yes, they can say
Romp, romp, geel, romp, yellow, yellow, skirt. Geel, yellow, romp. Geel, soos Nelo se romp. Geel, just like Nelo's skirt.
put the horse in and the carrot. Good job, Rio. Yes, egg. Good job. Little chick. Cheep, 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 cheep. Chick. Good job. What's that? Piglet. Oink, oink. Does that help you? Woo, you sneezed on me. And no, I'm still not used to just speaking and feeling as if I'm speaking to myself. Just generally, I'm speaking because I speak to my children. But there's no looking at me, there's no surprise, there's no repeating what I say. Mostly it's just like I'm just talking to myself, and it hurts, it still hurts. I'm not sure that that pain ever goes away. I'm trying to find a natural softener of our African hair. I need it to be creamy, but it must be like brush your teeth, brush your teeth. It must be, what's the word? I'll tell you later.